GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm Jordan Parker. A garbage truck fire sparked by discarded lithium-ion batteries is making headlines in Etobicoke, while the TTC prepares to roll out a fare capping pilot next month. Traffic's moving smoothly aside from a planned Dundas Street West closure. Nathan, what do you make of that?
The Toronto Summer Celebration and Food Festival kicks off Saturday, featuring live music stages, local vendors, and family-friendly cooking demonstrations throughout the Harbourfront Centre.
Tickets are free for all ages, and the event runs from noon until 9 p.m., offering a pop-up market, art installations, and interactive kids' workshops.
Featured chefs include Toronto's own Maya Patel, who will demonstrate sustainable seafood recipes, and a special tasting session with local craft breweries on the waterfront promenade.
We've got plenty to cover this morning, so without further delay, let's jump right into the news and get started. Here are our top stories.
A garbage truck on Brydon Drive ignited after improperly discarded lithium-ion batteries caught fire, prompting a response from Toronto Fire Services under Fire Chief Jim Jessup. Recent waste collection fires highlight the risk. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Fire crews responded to a blaze inside a garbage truck parked on Brydon Drive late Tuesday night. Investigators say a handful of lithium-ion batteries that had been tossed into the refuse ignited, setting the metal container alight. The fire quickly spread through the truck's interior before firefighters were able to tame it, prompting a temporary shutdown of the surrounding street. Toronto Fire Services Chief Jim Jessup confirmed the incident was caused by improper battery disposal and warned that similar incidents have risen in recent years as more consumers discard rechargeable cells with household waste. The department is urging residents to use designated recycling drop-offs for batteries to prevent further fires. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Etobicoke.
A Toronto man has been charged with sexual assault after a woman reported an encounter from an online dating app, prompting Durham Regional Police to open an investigation on July 16th. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Police say a Toronto man was arrested and charged with sexual assault after a woman said she was assaulted by someone she met on an online dating app. The complaint was filed on July 16, 2026, prompting Durham Regional Police to open an investigation. Detectives traced the suspect through the app's records and brought him in for questioning, where evidence led to a charge. The victim, who remains unnamed, told officers the encounter turned violent shortly after they met in person. Officers confirmed the case is moving through the criminal justice system, and no further details have been released. Authorities reminded the public to exercise caution when arranging meetings with people met online. They noted that the investigation remains open for any witnesses. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Toronto police have charged 3 suspects after seizing more than 2,500 items valued at over $1.5 million, linked to recent luxury home burglaries. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Police seized more than 2,500 items valued at roughly $1.5 million after linking them to a series of break-and-enter raids on luxury homes across the city. Officers recovered the goods during coordinated raids in several neighborhoods, then arrested 3 individuals believed to be involved in the thefts. The suspects now face charges related to possession of stolen property and organized crime activity. Investigators say the haul includes jewelry, high-end electronics, and designer accessories, all traced back to recent burglaries of high-value residences. The operation marks one of the largest recoveries of stolen luxury goods in recent Toronto police history. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
TTC will start a fare capping pilot on September 1st, letting riders travel for free after completing 47 trips. The program aims to curb costs for frequent commuters. Dev Shouhri has the full story.
Starting September 1st, the Toronto Transit Commission will roll out a fare capping pilot aimed at frequent riders. Under the program, commuters who log 47 trips within a month will see their fare balance reset to zero, effectively traveling for free after reaching that threshold. The system will automatically track each swipe and apply the cap without any extra steps from passengers. Officials say the trial is designed to ease the cost burden on those who rely on the subway, streetcars, and buses multiple times a day. Data from the pilot will inform whether a citywide cap could be introduced in future fare structures. The rollout begins across the network on the first day of September. Dev Shouhri, GMNA News, Toronto.
The Canadian National Exhibition has launched its annual Horse Capades program, letting children see and interact with horses throughout the fair, running through August 20th, 2026. Dev Shouhri has the full story.
Children at this year's Canadian National Exhibition can now wander into the new Horse Capades arena, where they'll meet real horses and learn basic handling skills under the guidance of trained handlers. The hands-on experience includes grooming demonstrations, a short ride on a gentle pony, and a chance to pose for photos beside the animals. The program runs daily throughout the fair and will remain open until August 20th, 2026. Organizers say the attraction is designed to spark interest in equestrian sports and give families a unique, interactive break from the rides and food stalls. Attendance has already climbed since the booths opened, and the venue expects to welcome hundreds of youngsters each weekend. Dev Shouhri, GMNA News, Exhibition Place.
Later we'll hear Premier Doug Ford deny a spy request on Bonnie Crombie in Jamaica, plus more. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Toronto's Lower Don Trail, slated for a one-year build, has exceeded 3 years and remains incomplete, highlighting the city's recurring infrastructure delays. Hayden Waters has the full story.
The Lower Don Trail, meant to be finished in just 1 year, has now stretched beyond 3 years and remains incomplete. City officials say work stalled after initial phases, leaving sections of the path unpaved and signage missing. Residents walking along the river report detours and unfinished bridges that force cyclists onto busy streets. CBC's Hayden Waters noted that the delays are part of a broader pattern of Toronto infrastructure projects slipping past their schedules. The city has pledged additional funding, but no firm completion date has been set, leaving the community waiting for a fully functional trail along the Don. Construction crews continue to clear debris and install lighting where possible, but progress is slow. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Don Valley.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he did not approve any party operative sent to monitor mayoral candidate Bonnie Crombie during her vacation in Jamaica, despite recent media reports. Tobias Kwan has the full story.
Premier Doug Ford told reporters Thursday that he never authorized any party operative to tail mayoral hopeful Bonnie Crombie while she was on holiday in Jamaica. He said the suggestion that the Progressive Conservative Party sent a staff member to collect intelligence on her abroad is inaccurate, and he distances himself from any such activity. The denial follows a series of media reports alleging that a party employee was dispatched to monitor Crombie's movements during her vacation. Ford emphasized that any intelligence gathering would be contrary to his office's policy, and he reiterated his focus on governing rather than partisan surveillance. The issue has drawn scrutiny of internal party conduct, but the Premier maintains that no approval was ever given. Tobias Kwan, GMNA News, Toronto. Ontario will tighten eligibility for social assistance, excluding residents without legal immigration status from receiving benefits. The change targets low-income support programs province-wide. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Ontario announced new eligibility rules for its social assistance program, barring anyone without legal immigration status from receiving payments. The change, unveiled Thursday, 13 August 2026, tightens the criteria that previously covered low-income residents regardless of status. Under the revised policy, claimants must prove they hold recognized immigration documentation before qualifying for monthly support. Officials say the move aims to ensure that provincial funds are directed only to individuals who meet the legal residency requirements. The province estimates the adjustment will affect a small but growing segment of the population who rely on welfare benefits while awaiting status confirmation. Applications submitted after the rollout will be reviewed against the new standards. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Premier Doug Ford unveiled a new data center approval framework in Guelph on August 13th, addressing province-wide pressure for a moratorium on new facilities. Tobias Kwan has the full story.
Ontario's Premier unveiled a province-wide framework today to guide approvals for future data center projects. The new policy, rolled out in Guelph, outlines criteria that developers must meet before a site can move forward, aiming to bring consistency after months of public pressure for a moratorium on new builds. Officials say the system will streamline reviews while ensuring environmental and community standards are met. The announcement comes as municipalities across the province have called for tighter controls on the rapid expansion of data facilities. By setting clear benchmarks, the government hopes to balance economic growth with local concerns. The framework will be reviewed annually, with the first set of applications expected to be processed by the end of the year. Tobias Kwan, GMNA News, Guelph. Police say a 27-year-old man was arrested after shooting a Toronto officer during a downtown e-bike robbery investigation. The incident occurred yesterday as officers pursued the theft. Dev Showri has the full story.
Police say a 27-year-old man was taken into custody after an officer was shot during a chase of an e-bike theft in downtown Toronto. Officers had responded to reports of a stolen electric bike near Yonge Street when the suspect opened fire, striking the officer in the torso. The wounded officer received on-scene medical care and was later transported to hospital, where his condition was reported as stable. Detectives tracked the shooter to a nearby alley where they apprehended him without further incident. The suspect now faces charges of attempted murder, aggravated assault, and theft of property. Police are reviewing surveillance footage to piece together how the robbery unfolded. Community members gathered outside the precinct to watch the police convoy pass by. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Yonge.
Now let's see what the afternoon holds with your weather update. Over to the team.
A swift western jet stream forces dry, steady air over Toronto, keeping the sky crystal clear. On this date, the all-time high sits at 31.9 degrees Celsius, recorded in 2003 during an early August heat wave that pushed the city into the mid-30s. The record low is 13.2 degrees Celsius, set in 2014 when an unusually deep Arctic surge slipped south behind a stalled front. Normal highs for mid-August hover around 22 degrees, with lows near 16, so today's 22-degree reading feels comfortably between the extremes. The climate normals underline how today's clear, mild air sits well within the expected range. Turning to the live radar, the map is entirely blank across southern Ontario. No echoes appear over Lake Ontario or the interior, confirming a dry, stable air mass. With the fast western jet aloft, any moisture would be sheared away before reaching the city, so we expect clear skies to persist through the afternoon and into evening. The radar remains quiet as we shift to today's outlook. At noon, the city sits at 22 degrees with a clear sky and light north wind of 4 kilometers per hour. Pressure is steady, neither high nor low, and the powerful western jet at 137 kilometers per hour streams over the region, reinforcing the dry air. As the sun climbs, temperatures will rise to a high of 24 degrees by mid-afternoon, then hold steady into the evening as clouds gradually thicken, bringing overcast conditions by 7 o'clock. The UV index will sit at 6, indicating moderate solar intensity. Winds will shift to a light southeast breeze, peaking at 13 kilometers per hour, well below the threshold for noticeable gusts. No weather alerts are in effect, so the day remains uncomplicated. Looking ahead, Saturday brings a high of 23 and a low of 18 under another clear sky, a modest dip from today's warmth but still comfortably mild. Sunday's high holds at 23 while lows climb to 19. Cloud cover increases, and a 25% chance of rain introduces a chance of light showers in the late afternoon. Monday spikes to a high of 28 with a low of 17, the warmest day of the period, and the sky remains clear despite a low 20% rain probability. Tuesday eases back to 25 degrees high and 17 low, all clear and dry. Wednesday closes the stretch with a high of 24 and a low of 19, overcast conditions returning and a 25% chance of rain, giving the week a subtle rhythm of sun and brief moisture. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, a look at today's traffic snarls, the Summer Celebration Festival lineup, and the Blue Jays playoff push. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Subway riders face the biggest disruption this morning. TTC Line 1 Yonge University service is suspended between Shepherd West and St. Clair West, leaving a gap through Midtown. Passengers must transfer to buses at both stations and allow extra travel time. Regionally, GO Barry Line is fully closed for construction, with shuttle buses covering the route. GO Kitchener Line runs on a reduced schedule and uses replacement buses on the affected segment. The UP Express skips Bloor, Mount Dennis and Weston stations while work proceeds, so commuters should use alternate subway or GO routes. Roads are largely clear. The only active closure is Dundas Street West between Runnymede and St. John's, where a crane blocks traffic. Expect a short delay there and plan around it. Escalators and elevators out of service include Finch West, Highway 407, King, Museum and Bloor Yonge. Allow extra time for stairs or alternative stations.
The biggest buzz today is the 2026 Toronto Summer Celebration and Food Festival at Harbourfront Centre, where free market stalls, street eats and live music turn the waterfront into a summer playground, perfect for a quick lunch break stroll. Next up, Alexis Onfair storms the RBC Amphitheatre with under oath and concrete vehicles, delivering a hard rock punch for anyone craving high-energy live sound. If you're looking for a splash of culture on the water, hop aboard the Afro-Carib Fest boat cruise at Paulson Pier, where Caribbean and African rhythms, island cuisine and skyline views set the tone for a memorable evening. Across Birksea Park, the Upfront Festival of Indigenous Arts lights up the streets with free concerts, artisan markets and live mural painting, showcasing vibrant Indigenous talent. Looking ahead, tomorrow kicks off the Taste of the Danforth, a 3-day feast of Greek and global flavors, and Sunday sees Kailani's after-party at the RBC Amphitheatre. Stay tuned for those highlights. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Post-deadline buzz fuels Toronto, but a Boston setback tests the Blue Jays' resolve. Since the July deadline, Toronto has gone 7-4, and the new pieces are already clicking. Jose Soriano's bat, Brett Bateman's arm and Josh Smith's versatility have injected depth, turning a mid-season scramble into a genuine playoff chase for the Blue Jays. A 7-0 loss to Boston dimmed Toronto's wildcard math, but Max Scherzer's milestone reminded fans the club still boasts elite talent. The shutout forces the Blue Jays to tighten pitching rotations and lean on recent acquisitions as the stretch run intensifies. Darko Rajakovic's system emphasizes pace, defensive versatility and player development, aligning perfectly with Toronto's roster composition. As the Raptors eye a deep playoff run, his coaching philosophy could unlock the squad's hidden potential and settle lingering doubts about the team's identity. Stay tuned as Toronto's clubs chase glory through the final stretch.
Thanks, Marcus. Ramp, the finance technology platform, just opened its new downtown Toronto office, anchoring its Canadian expansion. The company builds smart corporate cards, automates payments, tax filing, and accounting workflows, all designed for homegrown businesses. By bringing those tools locally, Ramp is giving Toronto-based founders a faster, cheaper way to manage cash flow and stay compliant. The office sits in the heart of the financial district, where the team will work side by side with startups, scale-ups, and established firms, turning the city's fintech ambition into everyday reality. It's a clear vote of confidence in Toronto's tech ecosystem, and it means more jobs, mentorship, and capital staying right here. That's why ramp matters to the city we call home. Coming up, we'll see how Toronto Hydro restored power after last night's outage, and the road disruptions on Carleton and Wellesley. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Toronto's iconic rockers Alexisonfire are returning for a two-night reunion at the newly revitalized RBC Amphitheatre, drawing fans to the waterfront for what promises to be a historic show. The exciting concerts are slated for August 14 and 15. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. The sun hangs low over the Lake Ontario horizon, casting an amber glow on the freshly painted steel ribs of the RBC Amphitheatre. The two-night reunion kicks off tonight with a second show slated for tomorrow. I'm perched on the front row steps, the concrete warm beneath my shoes, while crowds of fans in vintage tees and denim jackets shuffle forward, clutching printed tickets that read Alexisonfire Celebration. The scent of salty water mixes with the faint aroma of street food vendors grilling kebabs and corn on the cob just beyond the gate. Stage crews are tightening cables. A massive LED screen flickers to life and the band's iconic black and white logo pulses across the night sky. Anticipation crackles louder than the distant ferry horns, and longtime followers exchange stories of the first show they saw a decade ago, their faces lit by the glow of phone screens. This reunion marks the 20th anniversary of the breakthrough album that defined a generation, turning a waterfront venue into a communal memory-making space. Carl Dumont, virtually at RBC Amphitheatre.
Welcome back. Toronto Hydro says crews restored electricity to thousands of East End and downtown customers after a several-hour outage Wednesday night, ending the disruption that left the area in the dark. Dev Showri has the full story.
Power flickered out across Toronto's East End and into the downtown core Wednesday night, leaving thousands without electricity for several hours. Toronto Hydro crews mobilized as darkness fell, deploying repair trucks and pole crews along the streets of the East End. By early Friday morning, technicians had isolated the fault and began re-energizing circuits, bringing lights back to residential blocks and office towers one area at a time. Residents reported hearing the hum of transformers coming back online as neighborhoods gradually brightened. The outage, which began after a storm-related surge, was fully cleared by mid-morning, restoring service to the affected customers. Hydro officials said crews will review the incident to prevent future disruptions. Dev Showri, GMNA News, East York.
Construction on Carleton and Wellesley streets has forced partial lane closures, causing traffic congestion and transit delays for local residents. Work continues through the week, affecting commuters across the area. Dev Showri has the full story.
Road crews have been digging along Carleton and Wellesley streets since early Thursday, forcing partial closures that have snarled traffic and delayed buses for residents nearby. Drivers are rerouted onto side streets, while commuters report longer wait times on the number 24 bus and the number 21 streetcar. The city says two parallel projects, a utility upgrade on Carleton and a pavement renewal on Wellesley, are slated to continue through the weekend. Pedestrians face narrowed sidewalks and temporary crossings, and officials have posted signage to guide motorists around the work zones. Residents are advised to allow extra travel time and to check real-time updates before heading out. Noise from the machinery has been reported as a nuisance for nearby apartments, especially during early mornings. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Carleton.
Thanks for watching, Toronto. Tonight's look at the garbage truck blaze in Etobicoke reminded us how everyday hazards can turn dangerous. Stay safe, stay informed, and join us again tomorrow for more of the stories that matter to our city. We'll bring you the latest updates on transit, community events, and the issues that affect every neighbor.